I'm Anna Hellman. Thanks for being here today. Halloween is coming up, and many of you love to make really adorable Halloween treats. I have two ideas to share with you today using one or kind of two stamp sets. But even if you don't like Halloween treats and you don't usually make things for Halloween, you want to stick around because they're really adorable and you can use them for a lot of other occasions too. So what we're going to create are these adorable candy corn treat holders with chickens to decorate them, because chickens need a treat, right? And so do we. So since Halloween is coming up, candy corn is easy to find. But you can decorate these for Halloween like I have, but you could use these for a lot of other occasions as well if you decorate them a little bit differently. So here you can see the products that I used on today's projects: the Hey Birthday Chick stamp set and the coordinating dies, the Cutest Halloween stamp set, and this Frightful Tags die set, which I've been using quite a few times. I really, really like the spider web, the little witch's hat, the tree, the fence. There's just some really cute pieces in here. So I have some of these prepared, and the rest we will work on as we go. So let me show you how I put together this treat box first. This is one of our craft gift boxes, and I have some metallic mesh ribbon here on top that I've tied around it, but I'll show you how I put this together. When you get these craft gift boxes, they actually lay flat. They come in a pack of 8 or 10, I believe. Now this piece right here has some acetate in there. So all you have to do is fold on the score lines, remove the adhesive, and you will have a cute little gift bag box like is shown right here. Now for the candy corn on the inside, if you wanted to, you could leave it loose, but I figured that was kind of a recipe for it getting dumped somehow. So I took one of our 6x8 cellophane bags, filled it up, and then I just folded the extra around to the back, and I will tape that shut so that it will stay in place. So you can spread that out, fold this closed, and put the mesh ribbon back around, and now we are ready to decorate this. So what I've prepared, I have a witch's hat and a spider web made with those Frightful Tags dies that I cut out of our black glitter paper. I have a circle. I cut this with that same die set. And then I have prepared one of the stamped chickens. I stamped it with Memento ink, colored it with my blends markers, and you'll get to see, I'm going to do another one of these for the mini jam jar here in a minute. So you get to see me doing some of that coloring with the blends markers. Now, I don't want my chicken to be sniffing the cupcake, so I am going to trim off the cupcake with my scissors, and it will look like the chicken is sniffing the candy corn. So get rid of that cupcake. So we have the chicken ready, and the other thing we need is to stamp on this tag. And I decided what I want to stamp is, here's a trick or treat stamp. And I was looking through the sentiments in the chicken stamp set to see if there's anything in it that might work. And there's one that says best of cluck. And I decided, what if we stamp the word cluck and then the word or treat? So it's going to be cluck or treat. And I want to keep this towards the top of this tag. So I want to do this on my Stamparatus just because I'm not confident I'm going to get it stamped well the first time. So, Stamparatus to the rescue. I really like Halloween treats that have greens and purples mixed in, so I am going to stamp the word cluck with Gorgeous Grape. This is my Gorgeous Grape marker. I am going to color just that word cluck. And that turned out pretty well, but I'm going to do that a second time just to make it a little bit darker. It's one of the reasons I love the Stamparatus. I've been using this a lot lately to stamp my sentiments more than once to make sure they're nice and dark. Now I have a little bit more confidence that I will be able to stamp the second part without it. So I'll set that aside. And I'm going to use some Granny Apple Green. And I only want to ink the words or treat. If you've never done this before, You can just be careful to ink just the part you want so that you don't stamp the whole thing. Cluck or treat. So now we are ready to get these pieces assembled together. First, I want to attach the spider web in the background. Now, there are several ways you can attach detailed die cuts like this. I've been using my adhesive sheets a lot lately. I love them. The adhesive sheets you just attach to the back of your cardstock before you do your die cutting. So I forgot to put them on, of course. That happens sometimes. You can use the trick with the silicone craft sheet and your glue, which is really handy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. I can link you to a video where I show how to do that. Or you can just put a little bit of this multi-purpose glue in the back, and in a minute it will stay stuck. Okay, now I want to put this greeting on. Then I want to put the chicken over top, I believe. Actually, I take that back because I'm going to put the witch's hat on the chicken. So I just need to find an arrangement that works for this. And everything is shifting, of course. So I think I'll bring this out. Get adhesive on the back of it all over. I think I'll bring it out about here, and then I'll attach that chicken in a spot that you'll still be able to see that sentiment. So I'll put some dimensionals on the back here. I have some of my mini dimensionals here. You could use the large ones as well. I had the minis out for the witch's hat since it's pretty small. So I want to put this over far enough that when I put that witch's hat on, it doesn't cover up the sentiment. So I'll mention this. I haven't been mentioning this a lot, but make sure you remember that Celebration is happening. Celebration this is our second time this has been offered this year, but typically it is a special that is offered once a year where with any order, you get to choose a free gift with every $50 or $100 you spend. We have a lot of specials. There's an additional offer if you spend $300, which some people do. We also have an amazing sign-up special where you can choose a lot of products plus a free bundle for just $99. So if you have questions about Celebration and all the offers going on right now, please let me know. So I'm going to tighten up this ribbon in the back a little bit. It got a little loose, but there is our cute treat holder with the craft gift box. Now let's move on to the mini jam jar. And I've already filled the jar with the candy corns. I've tied my gingham ribbon around, and I have a few pieces prepared for a tag. So we're going to put a tag on this one. Now I trimmed this out, or I cut this out with that Frightful Tags die set, and there's a stamp in the stamp set that I use, the Halloween stamp set, Cutest Halloween, that I stamped those candy corns on. I also cut this with the same die set, and the Treat Yourself stamp is in that set. So now I want to bring in some scrap paper, which I forgot to grab. So we'll grab a piece that I had laying back here, and I wanted to color this chicken with my blends markers. I don't show my blends markers on camera a lot, but you may start to see them more because I absolutely love these. Sometimes I do my coloring beforehand to prepare, but these are so much fun. I'm not really big on coloring in general, but I love the way these look so much that I have really grown to love coloring when I'm using these markers, especially. So the way I like to blend is typically I color in the entire image with my lightest marker. The colors I'm using here are light and dark Mango Melody and light Pumpkin Pie. dark pumpkin pie. I think I have dark pumpkin pie. So when you buy a set of these, if you choose the pumpkin pie markers, for example, you get the light and the dark together, which allows you to blend those colors, which is really nice. So I fill in the entire thing with my lightest color. Next, and I'll mention that there are so many ways to blend. This is not necessarily the right way. It's just the way that I have found I like to do it. Next, I bring in my darkest color wherever I want some of those dark shadows. So I'll bring that pumpkin pie in there. And then I'm going to bring in my medium color down here and blend the dark into the light, or the dark into the medium at least. There are different patterns you can use with a marker. You can use a circular pattern, you can use a back and forth pattern. Right now I'm using more of a feathering pattern where I put the marker down and then as I come up, I lift up. So less of that color is going to be applied. There's just a lot of different ways to use these, and typically no matter what you do, the results are going to be beautiful. So you do have to be careful when you use blends not to color all the way to the edge of your image because they do bleed a little bit. If you color all the way to the edge, oftentimes your color will actually bleed outside of the lines. Okay, so now I have my lightest marker again, and I'm going to blend that medium shade into the lightest. And I can go back over the whole thing if I want to, if I feel like I need to. Sometimes I do that, go back over all of it, and it just helps everything blend together a little bit more. Now I'm using more of a circular pattern. There's not really any rhyme or reason to why I use the pattern I do when I do. Just as I've used them more and more, I've got a feel for it. Now I am going to use the orange pumpkin pie. And I think I'm going to use this on all of this here. So I did pull out the bullet tip. These have two separate tips. I use the brush tip most of the time, but if I want to do small areas, then I use that bullet tip. Okay, so our happy dancing chicken looks like she is ready. So let's put our tag together. This will just take a minute and then we'll get it attached to our jam jar. So I want to put some adhesive on the left side of the chicken so that I can attach it to the tag. And then I want to attach this treat yourself piece over top. So pop it up with some dimensionals. These will be fun with some embellishments attached. If you take a look at my pictures here, at the beginning and the end, I'll have some embellishments added on. So just string this on here. I am going to leave that a little bit loose. I'll cross this and then make my bow. If you need some bow tying tips, I have a really great video with 10 tips for tying a perfect bow. There's lots of different ways. One way works better for some people than the other. So I'll link you to that if you want to check it out. And we have our cute little jam jar with candy corns, our little treat for our little chicken. So thanks so much for joining in today. I hope you enjoyed these projects. I hope these give you some fun ideas for things you could do for Halloween or an upcoming family get together or party or something fun for kids to eat at school. I appreciate you watching along. Please subscribe, drop me a comment below or give me a thumbs up. Let me know what I can do for you in the future. Have a great day, and I hope you'll be back again next time when I'll be here helping you to hand make with love.